After considering what I've been doing as a career for the past 33 years, I decided to take a very personal, or you might say very individual, view to today's topic. What have I been doing for the past 33 years, you might ask? Basically, spending a lot of time with teenagers. Maybe too much. Let's admit it, teenage years are the most fascinating time in life. Note, I said the most fascinating. They're not necessarily the most fun or the easiest time of one's life. It's a time when a person grows in many ways, especially growing in independence, gradually from being almost completely reliant on their parents to being young adults with their own responsibilities, concerns, and aspirations, and ideas about what you want to pursue in life. I thought about that. For 33 years, I've been continually immersed in a teenage landscape where young people are trying to figure out what they consider to be important to themselves. Not what's important to their family, not what's important to their friends, but what is important to them, themselves as individuals. Thus, the starting point for my thoughts on today's theme is the fact that I have been living a very large chunk of my life in what we might call teen land. Imagine that, almost continuously for 33 years. I cannot help but make a few observations over the years. So what are some things that young people may decide are worthy for pursuing in life? I'm just throwing a few up on the screen here, no particular order. And I've searched hard and wide to come up with things, mostly intangibles, which we might consider to be reasonable and valid life pursuits. Teens, when given the chance, want to have a positive impact on the world and others. That's one of my observations I've made in the last 33 years. But it's not been my experience that young people start with some kind of abstract list like this and start considering their options. Teenage years are, did I already say fascinating? Yes. Teenage years are chaotic. Teenage years are exhilarating, nerve-wracking. Not just for them, but sometimes for teachers too. It's more my view that these early years are much more about self-development, figuring things out, making mistakes, exploring, and just living life. And when living life, things happen. Believe it or not, I once was a teenager. And when I was a teenager, this happened. Yes, I broke my right hand, specifically my 5th metacarpal bone. Not a terrible thing, but it did throw me for a bit of a loop. This is often called a boxer's fracture because it's susceptible of being broken when throwing a punch. No, I did not punch someone. I broke it playing American football on my high school team when I was in the 10th grade. But it was a lucky break, as I put up there. Why, you might ask? Especially since it was my right hand, and as you can see, I am right-handed. Although I did continue to play American football for several years, the sport I enjoyed the most, and still is basketball, by far. After my right hand was broken, a cast that looked something like this one was put on my right arm. I was able to move my thumb, but the other 4 fingers of my hand were contained in the cast. I had absolutely no use of my right hand at all. Remember now, I was in 10th grade, in the middle of school. Everyone was feeling very sorry for me. I was not. I was excited by the challenge to teach myself how to do everything with my left hand. I quickly learned how to use a fork, knife, and spoon. Of course, one has priorities. After some effort, I even figured out how to write reasonably well with my left hand. This was way before the days of personal computers, so I had to do all my schoolwork by hand. So again, why a lucky break? Well, like I said, I really, really liked basketball. And competition on the team was tough. Here's my 10th grade team in 1975. That's me in the upper left-hand corner. The real blast from the past. Competition on the team was tough. Yes. You can tell these were the days of long hair. Everybody except the coach, perhaps. But I can remember it was like yesterday. I set myself the challenge to do all the things that I'd been doing with my right hand in basketball, like shooting and dribbling and passing. But now I was going to do them with my left hand. I was very fortunate that my coach let me continue to participate in practice sessions. Of course, not in games because I had that big heavy cast in my hand. Well, my arm and hand were in that. This leads to a second lucky break, when just a few days before I was supposed to get the cast off, you might start wondering about my intelligence now, we were doing layups in practice and I caught my cast in the net, re-breaking my hand, doubling the length of time I had my cast on, a total of nearly 3 months. But by the time the cast came off, you can guess what had happened. I was very good with my left hand. In fact, I was ambidextrous, especially dribbling, shooting, and passing. This had an enormous impact on my development as a basketball player. 2 years later, in my final year of secondary school, in 1977, those were the days when I could jump, I was selected as one of the top high school basketball players in my state, and some college coaches even approached me about playing at their school. I could not believe it. Although I truly enjoyed playing sports, I'd always known the most important thing was my academic studies. Nevertheless, my talents as a basketball player had a big impact on my decision where to attend university, which then also had a major influence on my decision to pursue a career in teaching. I played basketball for 4 years at university, and my participation in university sports led to me being awarded an academic scholarship, which helped me earn my teaching qualification and start my master's degree in mathematics education. You could say that breaking my hand had a sort of rippling effect on my life. I wondered about other people's lucky breaks, at least that of some maybe famous people, some that you may recognize. Here's Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence had an incredible lucky break when she was 14 years old, visiting New York City on a holiday with her family. A talent scout just walked up to her on the street, took her picture, and this led to auditions. And within 2 years, she was living in Los Angeles and starring in a TV sitcom, and the rest is history. Whoops, sorry. Leonard Euler. Maybe not famous to some of you, but certainly famous to me. He's a personal hero of mine, often considered the most accomplished mathematician of all time. Growing up in a quiet area of Switzerland in the early 18th century, he had the incredible good fortune that his father just happened to be very good friends with Johann Bernoulli, the most important mathematician in Europe at that time. Bernoulli helped tutor Euler in mathematics when he was very young. You've already seen him here. Early in his political career, Barack Obama was a struggling local politician in the state of Illinois. There was a crucial decision that was determined literally by drawing one of two names out of a hat, a Democrat or a Republican. His luck had it that the Democratic name was chosen. It had a profound effect on Obama's political career, and as a result, one of the results, he was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2004, which then set him up for his first run for presidency in 2008. So is the point I'm making that you need to have a major stroke of good fortune, i.e. luck, in order to achieve something? Well, it'd seem that way, wouldn't it? But no, life is never really that simple and straightforward. Now, do you ever think you have to see these three people up on one slide at one time? So a quick view under the surface reveals far more. Jennifer Lawrence, before being discovered in New York at age 14, Jennifer Lawrence had sought out opportunities to perform in church plays and school musicals of her own initiative. She was also a very good student, worked hard to graduate 2 years early from high school before her parents would agree to her to move to Los Angeles. Leonard Euler, his early education in mathematics was mostly down to himself, taking initiative to read mathematics books at a young age on his own. And Euler finished an initial degree in philosophy to satisfy his father's wishes before switching to mathematics. Years before Barack Obama ran for political office, he worked as a community organizer in Chicago. He was a standout student at Harvard Law School and then worked as a civil rights lawyer and a law professor in Chicago for several years. So he most definitely put in some significant preparation in order to be a successful politician. Well, what about me? What about my lucky break? Well, my response to breaking my right hand certainly did have something to do with my development as a basketball player, but much more of a factor was where I lived and who I lived with. From the age of 11 to 17, I was very fortunate to live in this house with my large family and including my 6 siblings. And we had a great, great basketball court right there on a nice wide driveway, and I always had someone to play with. There's even a basketball court there to this day. That's from Google Street View 2 years ago. So I was lucky in many ways. There's no doubt that some element of good fortune can often have a significant long-term impact on a person's life, even something which might seem inconsequential at the time, like breaking a hand. But it's not just pure luck. And it would be silly for someone just to wait for a lucky break to come along. That won't work. To borrow a phrase often attributed to the famous Roman philosopher and writer Seneca the Younger, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. If you are sufficiently prepared when an opportunity arises, it's possible to make your own luck. And it might even help you a little toward figuring out what you wish to pursue in life. Testing out different opportunities is immensely helpful in forming your ambitions. Having been a teacher and inhabiting teen land for so long, I do believe there's a large element of truth in this statement. To me, the key words are preparation and opportunity. Strive to take advantage of opportunities for any kind of learning when they come along. But perhaps the most important part of this message is preparation. Preparation can mean a wide range of things, but you wouldn't be surprised to hear me say that I think the most important type of preparation that will help you take full advantage of available opportunities is academic preparation. And when I use the phrase academic preparation, I'm meaning more than just the school day. Traditional school work tends to focus on studying and regurgitating other people's ideas. Although this is an important part of your education, in my opinion, and that of many others, there needs to be more to it than just that. Don't shy away from learning opportunities wherever they may occur. You don't need any kind of grand plan with a predetermined list of instructions. You don't know what's going to have a long ripple through your life. And as you're making your own luck and making your way through your teenage years and beyond, you will consciously and unconsciously gradually prioritize what you feel is most important to pursue in life. Some may be from this list. It's not for me or anyone else to tell you what is most important to pursue. In my life, and certainly it was not a smooth process, I chose to prioritize on success, helping others, challenge myself, truth, and knowledge. So while going through this prioritizing process, endeavor to get really good at something that helps you but can also help others in some way, small or big. Early on in my career, I decided I wanted to challenge myself to be the best mathematics teacher I could possibly be. Yes, that's true. That's what I wanted to do. That required pursuing truth and knowledge and pursuing a certain measure of success, but not one that would be measured in monetary terms or possessions. I knew that from the beginning. I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever about choosing to be and remain a classroom teacher. It has many intangible rewards, although you notice that fame, power, and wealth are no longer on my short list. I've been very fortunate to use my expertise in teaching, and specifically in mathematics teaching, to help others, not just my own students, but also other students and teachers around the world, through helping to write some successful mathematics textbooks and delivering valuable teacher training. I have found it very fulfilling and meaningful. It's worth saying that not all breaks are lucky breaks. 6 years ago, while playing basketball, yes, I keep playing, much to the chagrin of my wife, I broke my right hand again in precisely the same place I did when I was 16. It occurred right in the middle of writing one of our textbooks, so it was definitely not a lucky break. In closing, it's important, I think, as youth, to enjoy your youth. That's what it's for. The good breaks and even the bad breaks, all the bewildering and exhilarating changes you will go through. But make the effort to prepare yourself for what might happen in your life. Prepare yourself in school, and just as importantly, outside of school. Grab opportunities when they come by, and take the time and effort to get good at something that is valuable to you, yourself, and others. Thank you.